Climate Channel, Climate Conversation with Quamrul Chowdhury, Climate Action Pathways, episode 41. Today, we are going to have a conversation with Cathi Vitong, who is representing Yango. She is now coordinating young voices from the world in Conference of the Parties under United Nations Framework Convention. In the run-up to Glasgow COP26, she is a voice of the young, a voice of the future. So today in our conversation in Climate Channel, we are going to have her and we will discuss with her story, how Cathi came to this parliament, came to climate parliaments, climate conference, climate meetings, how she is looking now at the future, how she is looking at the planet Earth, Mother Earth, which is now under assault because of climatic changes, abrupt changes, as IPCC AR6 Working Group 1 report gave us a red alert. So after that red alert, what is Cathy's story? How she is facing it day in and day out? Cathi, tell us your story.
Yeah, thanks, Quamrul, again for having me, and it's always interesting to talk with you and also about the current progress, and also especially that we're only a month and a half away from COP, away from Glasgow. So yeah, I guess probably sort of like a brief background of myself, and also that I've actually only been actively following the UNFCCC process from 2020. So of course everything have been virtual, all the meetings. So yeah, but happy to see that some meetings are started to plan at least to return to Bonn, and also hopefully everyone will gather together in Glasgow. So sort of like a brief background about my engagement at the UNFCCC process. So I first started with the youth constituency, and I'm still very active at the youth constituency. And it started with technology mechanism. And so I guess it all started with that I represented the youth constituency at the CTC and AB meeting. And then I think it was last year, AB 16. And then I found this topic very interesting, and I got more engaged, and also because youth constituency has a really strong demand there, request, together with the women and gender constituency and the indigenous peoples organizations. So then I got more involved, and then of course started following the other half of the technology mechanism, the policy arm as well, the tech, and also following a few other topics like and also a few other constituted bodies like the AC, PCCB, LSIP, FWG, and also I definitely forgot some, XCOM, and also the SCF that I really love. So yeah, and also then I found that the constituted bodies are really connected and they have joint work together. And then I got more involved in terms of, and I joined the task force of the tech, and I found it also really interesting. And so yeah, I mainly focus on finance, and now about to start focus a little bit on global stocktake, although I'm definitely a rookie for global stocktake for now. And then I also got involved in the women and gender constituency. So yeah, basically a brief overview in terms of my engagement is, one is to represent the two constituencies in some constituted bodies meetings. And then I also coordinate some of the youth constituencies partnerships with UN agencies, other constituencies under the UNFCCC or under UNMGCY. So yeah, and also organizations like IUCN. So that's pretty much what I do.
So a lot of work ahead also. So how do you see the climate finance say, constituent body meetings and other negotiations, and also global stock take. Yep. Do you
I
think
don't
there is progress, some progress?
Yeah, I don't think I'm in a position to comment on global stock take because I know very, very little about it, but hopefully we'll know more in the coming months, especially that at the tech meeting, the Tech 23 this week, that a new ad hoc working group is set up to focus on global stock take and also to compose a synthesis report between Tech 23 and Tech 24. So we have a very tight schedule, so we only have till about March or April. But yeah, I think it would be really interesting, especially that I really love technology mechanisms. So always happy to contribute anything related to that. So yeah, really happy. And also, this would be the first time the women and gender constituency is involved in a task force of the technology mechanisms. So also very proud to see that. And also, Younger will also send someone to join, which is also great to work with peers. And then specifically on the financial mechanism, so the Standing Committee on Finance met this week as well. Also very insightful, although I was following SCF and AC and Tech at the basically very same time, so I couldn't follow the whole thing. But basically, I focused more on the two agenda items on the Nature-Based Solutions Forum and also their draft guidance to the GCF and GEF. And of course, I believe you definitely know much more about it. They have a very strong focus on the BA, the biennial assessment, and also the NDR, which are two very important topics. And I have very little technical knowledge on, but I know that a lot is going on that space. And also, basically, as constituencies, of course, we're advocating to get access to their draft summaries, which they are currently working on, and like similarly how we advocated for getting access to the draft BA and draft NDR a few years ago, and now we have the access to those two. And I remember in the last meeting, fellow observers were advocating because we got the draft BA and we got draft NDR, which is PowerPoint, and so we were thinking that's not quite what draft NDR looks like. So yeah, this time we have the full draft NDR. So hopefully before next meeting, we'll also have the draft summaries, and because it would be really useful for us to comment on, and also because draft summaries are based on draft BA and NDR that we have access to. So it really makes no difference. So yeah, that's, I guess, something that many constituencies are really passionate about from this meeting, is about getting access to draft summaries. And for me, the two agenda items that I followed closely, the Nature-Based Solutions Forum, of course, myself is very passionate about this because besides UNFCCC, although I don't follow the CBD process closely, I'm also in their youth constituency, and our two youth constituencies of these two real Earth Summit conventions are working together with an organization called Youth for Nature on nature-based solutions. And we're very proud that our survey, which is still open, already got over 700 responses from over 100 countries. So we're very proud of that. And also we've been having joint events with IUCN, with the Chatham House, and we're participating in their projects as well. So yeah, and also we'll get some exposure at COP on Nature Day and Youth Day about this project. So that's something I'm really, really passionate about. And also I think the co-facilitators of the forum have done an amazing job as well to, really organize everything. And then for the draft guidance, because I'm in the task force of the tech of support, which focus on financial mechanism. So I actually provided little inputs of the tech to the financial mechanism. And so I guess a few points that I raised that I really, really like are, one is to make sure we have a strong focus on local level stakeholders in those activities, and also to increase focus on North-South and South-South cooperation. And although we did at Tech 23 this week, we did see some colleagues believing that North-South, South-South is an outdated way of describing the world. But nevertheless, some parties, especially non-Annex 1 parties, believe that it is important to keep them there. So the finalized version is South-South and triangular cooperation. So I'm very happy to see that those are in the final version of text inputs to the SCF as a draft guidance to GCF and GEF. And also I also highlighted gender mainstreaming and constituency engagement. So yeah, these are the points that I really love. And so yeah, and also very happy to see both tech and SDF are meeting this week. So like, it's interesting when they discuss the same agenda item. So yeah, always, a pleasure to follow that as well.
Great. So how, say, under COVID situation, you coordinate with other young people from around the world? Say, it's a challenging time. Say, because there are different time zones, different continents, different language. How you overcome those barriers? Say in London, now you are in London, or say you are in Beijing. Say in the morning Beijing, evening in say Melbourne or Brisbane. Say night in Johannesburg, in Cairo, or say in Oslo, it is middle of the night. In say San Francisco or Colombia, it is say Sao Paulo, it is early morning. So how you say interact with say youths from different continents, from different parts of the world?
Yeah, I guess similar to how parties are dealing with it, like we see in the SBs that they switch time zones, and there are always some people from some regions that have to stay up till midnight, which is, the world we live in. And also, well, thanks to technology, we don't have to fly across the world to meet. Well, now we have Zoom, which is great. But yeah, I think for the youth constituency, Yango, that for example, the global coordination team, my fellow team members, we usually sort of like rotate our time zones. So for example, we meet twice a month. So one will be like during my daytime, one would be really, for example, like 3 a.m. for me. So yeah, like to balance that, and also to make sure that we make sure all the continents, all the regions are being considered and
represented.
Yeah, which is really important.
Say you are representing the young, but you also need some mentoring, some learning, some knowledge, some research, some data, some figures. So who are mentoring you? Or
I guess
say yes, like you.
Yeah, I
Who
guess
are
all
those people?
all the fellow constituency members, because for Yango we have over 10,000 individual members and also over 1,000 organizations. Basically, as a constituency, we're open to anyone under the age of 35. So we're trying to be as inclusive as possible. And we have because although I follow so many topics, but for each topic, even for technology that I sort of love the most, there's always someone that know much more about it than I do. And there are always people who specialize in this area. So yeah, and it's always good to know more from them. And also, as you know, that constituencies work closely together. So, and also in my capacity at the Women and Gender constituency for technology, I have a really amazing colleague who has been working on this field for decades, and she's been a great mentor as well. And also colleagues for finance and also for other topics. They're also someone who have been following this topic for many years and know all the history of it. So yeah.
Yeah. So can you share with the Climate Channel a little bit about your background? Where you studied, which subjects, what was your major, what was your minor? So.
Yeah, I guess it started with specifically, but somehow I was selected to represent Yango at the CTC and AB16 meeting, and I knew nothing about, I didn't know much about the convention, didn't know about the structure or how it works, or the technology mechanism, and also, I don't even have the technical knowledge or related background at all, basically. And so by profession, I work in private finance.
Yeah. Oh, where you studied?
Yeah, it just started with technology mechanism, and then I got interested in everything else. Yeah, and I guess it's because the youth constituency is so very often that these opportunities are given to me when I'm not ready, when I think like I don't have enough knowledge in my brain, but these opportunities are just there. So yeah, I'm humbled.
So, how do you foresee Glasgow? Do you think in Glasgow, in just less than 50 days, we can strike a deal over there? Can say world leaders cut back their emissions? Can we reach 1.5 degree temperature rise goal or Paris Agreement? Keep alive. What is your message
Well, I think
as
myself.
a representative of the youth?
Well,
Young
they're
youth.
very representative of the youth constituency. Usually, as you know, that for one constituted body, we have usually a quota of 2. So there are many of them following each topic, and I'm just one of them, and happen to just interested in so many topics and follow so many topics, and also that our focal point is also doing an amazing job as well, and also many colleagues. So I guess myself, I'm being quite optimistic. Well, although like I do know colleagues from that follow the UNFCCC process, and also colleagues that work in private finance, maybe sustainable finance, that are not being so optimistic. And there are colleagues I know that don't believe we can ever achieve 1.5. But myself, I think probably because, from my engagement, people around me have been working so hard, and also they're really, trying their best. So the secretary is working very hard. All the constituted bodies members are so nice and also so passionate about the topic. So I'm being quite optimistic that we will achieve our goals. So yeah, but of course, like in terms of our message at Glasgow, I guess we have a lot to say, and I guess usually as the youth constituency, as mentioned before, that because we're the host of the UN Climate Change Conference of Youth, we will have our outcome, which is Global Youth Statement, which also serve as Yango's position paper for COP. And basically, we will hand this over to Mr. Alok Sharma at the end of our COI, the Conference of Youth, and also the highlight event, a thematic session on the Youth Day at COP will also be used to present the outcome paper. So we'll have plenty of space to say our demands and also on each topic, and finance, technology, and every single topic, we got a lot to say. And when we do have the statement, I'll definitely send it over to you. And it'll be like, a little book, not a little book, but like, detailed, our demand on each topic, and also what we want to see to happen in Glasgow.
Thank you very, very much, Cathi. It was a pleasure to have your story and your expectation. With optimism, you have closed your statement, your story. So it's also ours. We hope that Glasgow will be successful. COP26 come October, November will be a successful COP, and we will cut back our emissions, we will raise our ambitions, we will also raise our adaptation goal, adaptation ambition, and climate finance and technology ambition. The planet is waiting our decision, our actions, our concrete actions onto the ground. We have to take it, and our future generation depends, their future depends on our decision. So COP26 will not say dismay that. We are hoping that we have a future. We certainly deserve a future. You deserve a future. your generation and generations to come deserve. With that, I would like to stop here this conversation. Hopefully, in our future episodes, we'll see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much again.